It was a warm morning, but your hands were cold. You sat stiffly in the black car, trying to act normal, but your heart was racing. Jungkook the Mafia King, also known as your best friend Jia's brother, was driving beside you, silent and serious. You cursed under your breath. Damn you, Jia, you muttered, gripping your back tightly on your lap. Jia had shown up at your house earlier, dragging her scary brother along. Jungkook will drop us today, she smiled innocently. I can walk, you offered quickly. No, you can't. I told him already. She had winked, pulling you towards the car. Now you were trapped in this car, sitting beside the most dangerous man you knew. Halfway to college, Gia suddenly asked Jungkook to stop near a small store. I need to buy something, she chirped. You unbuckled your seatbelt. I'll come with. No, Gia cut you off. You have an urgent test. Go ahead. I will come to class later. You turned to Jungkook nervously. He nodded calm and unbothered. She's fine. The girls are around. Of course, the Mafia princess always had girls following her, but you had no one to protect you from her terrifying brother. Once Gia left, you sank into your seat. Damn you, Gia, you whispered again. How could you leave me alone with him? The ride was silent. You could hear only the engine in your own heartbeat and your thoughts screaming in panic. Jungkook finally spoke. How are your studies going? You flinched slightly and stuttered. Good, I guess. His eyes stayed on the road. Any problem in college? No, not really, you replied, trying to breathe steadily. He nodded slowly, voice deep and firm. Tell me if anyone misbehaves with you. You nodded quickly, lips pressed into a thin line. You turned your head to the window, trying to calm your racing heart. His presence always made you nervous. It wasn't that he yelled or hurt you, it was just his aura, cold, dangerous, commanding. After a minute, he spoke again. You seem nervous. Drink some water. He passed you a bottle. You took it with shaking hands and drank a few sips. As you were about to place it in the holder, he held out his hand. Give it to me, he said. You passed it to him. He lifted the same bottle and drank from the same spot where your lips had touched. Your eyes widened. You looked away quickly, feeling your cheeks burn. You could feel his eyes on you as he gently placed the bottle down. You gulped and stared hard at the car window, pretending the sky was more interesting than the fact that John Jungkook had just. Minutes later, the car stopped in front of your college. Before he could say anything, you unbuckled and rushed out. Thank you, you shouted quickly before speed walking towards the gate. But before you could enter, a few senior boys blocked your way. Hey, beautiful one smirked. Why so fast? Let me go. I have a test. You said, trying to move. Oh, let's hang out instead. Another teased. You tried to dodge them, but they stood in the way. Suddenly, a loud voice froze. Everyone, move. You turned eyes, widening. Jungkook was walking towards you, holding your purse. He must have come to give it to you, but now he saw them. Wait, you whispered, but it was too late. Without a word, he pounced the first guy, making him fall. Then he grabbed the second by the collar and threw him to the ground. You stood frozen as he beat them without mercy. His face was dark, his jaw clenched, eyes full of rage. He didn't even blink. Jungkook stopped. He froze immediately at your voice, his breathing heavy. He turned to you slowly. Are you okay? He asked, his voice low but serious. You nodded quickly, still trembling. He turned to the crowd, watching, and spoke loud and clear. If anyone touches her again or dares to speak nonsense, I will break every single bone. Gas spread among the students. He stepped closer to the boy, still groaning on the ground. She is going to be my fiancée soon, so remember she belongs to me. Your eyes widened, but you didn't deny it. It was true. In a few months after graduation, you are going to be engaged to him. Everyone turned to look at you with surprise. You just nodded silently, then whispered, "Thank you," before rushing inside. Your heart was beating like a drum, not because of the boys, but because of him. His piercing, his hands, his angry face, and now his lips that touched the same bottle as yours. You shook your head and entered to the exam hall, saying to yourself, "Man, stop thinking about Jungkook and focus on your test." Later, the test was finally over. You walked slowly towards your classroom, still thinking about what happened in the morning. Your hands were cold, your heart still remembered how Jungkook's eyes looked when he was angry. That scene, it was playing again and again. As you stepped into the classroom, you saw Jia sitting in the second row, waving at you with a big smile. "Wine, come here," she called. You walked over and sat beside her, dropping your bag with a tired sigh. "How was the test?" she asked, poking your shoulder. "I did well," you replied quietly. Gia leaned closer. "Now tell me what happened after I left in the car with my scary Mafia brother." You looked at her and rolled your eyes. "It happened," you said. "What do you mean, it happened?" "I was scared," you admitted, rubbing your palms together. "Jungkook is terrifying." Gia burst into laughter. "Oh, come on, Wyatt. You're going to be engaged to him in a few months. You have known him for years now, and you're still scared?" You sighed and nodded. "I don't know why. I can't look into his eyes directly. He's too serious. His face, his voice, his aura. It's like standing near a thunderstorm." She leaned back in her chair, shaking her head. "Oh, my Appa is not that scared. He's just quiet and strong. Many girls are crazy for him, you know. They would kill to sit in the same car with him, but you, I can't help it." You mumble, biting your lip. "He makes me nervous." Gia looked at you seriously now. "Okay, let me ask you something." You looked at her confused. "What?" She leaned close. "Do you love him?" Your eyes widened in shock. "What? You heard me. Do you love my brother?" Gia said, grinning. You turned your head away, heart thudding loudly in your chest. You didn't speak. You couldn't. Your silence made her eyes grow wide. "Wait, are you serious? You love him?" You still didn't answer, but slowly you nodded just what Gia gasped. "You love him? And you're scared of him? That's such a great combo," she teased. "What are you going to do on your wedding night? Cry and run away?" You hit her arm lightly. "Stop it," she giggled. "But really, Vine, you have loved him all this time." You looked down at your hands and whispered, "Yeah." It was true. You had loved Jungkook for so long, ever since he helped you once when a man was following you in the market. You didn't say much that day, just glared at the man and held your wrist until you were safe. Since then, you started noticing everything about him: his lip piercing, the way his voice got softer around Gia, how he always opened the door for elders, how he secretly liked black coffee with one sugar cube. But you never had the courage to tell him because he scared you. You were afraid that if you confessed, he might push you away or worse, say nothing at all. Before Joe could ask more questions, the professor entered the room holding a bunch of papers. "Quiet, everyone. Open your notebooks. Let's begin lesson today." Everyone sat straight, but your mind was far away. You opened your notebook, but your pen didn't move. You were still thinking about this morning. The way Jungkook handed you the water bottle, the way his lips touched the same place yours did, the way he beat those senior boys like they were nothing. And then he said it out loud: "She's going to be my fiancée." Those words, they echoed in your ears again and again. You looked at your blank notebook. "How can I marry someone I'm scared of?" you thought. But your heart replied softly, "Because you love him." You were not scared of him hurting you. You were scared of losing him, of not being able to make him smile, of not being able to melt that cold heart. You turned to look at Gia for a second. She was busy taking notes. You whispered softly, "Gia?" She looked at you. "Yeah, what if I'm not strong enough to be with someone like him?" She smiled. "Why? He doesn't need someone strong. He needs someone real, and you're the most real person I know. You smiled weakly, but I still can't look into his eyes, you whispered. Jia giggled again, then started by looking at his piercing instead. That's a smaller step. You covered your face with your hands. You're the worst. And you're in love with the Mafia King, she whispered back. You groaned, but deep inside your heart whispered the truth. Yes, I am. It was Jungkook's birthday eve. The big clock in the living room showed 11:30 p.m. Jungkook sat on the sofa, his phone placed on the glass table in front of him. His elbows rested on his knees, and his eyes were fixed on the screen like he was waiting for something important. Actually, he was waiting for you. He kept looking at the time every few seconds, his fingers tapped on his knees and his lips pressed into a tight line. Just then Gia walked by with an ice cream tub in her hand. She stopped near the kitchen when she saw Jungkook staring at his phone like it was a time bomb. She squinted and walked closer, holding her spoon in one hand. Oppa, what are you doing here at this hour? Everyone is asleep, she asked curiously. Jungkook looked up startled. He sat straight quickly and cleared his throat. Just thinking. Gia raised an eyebrow, thinking or waiting, she teased, smirking. He avoided her gaze. No, why would I wait for anyone? I'm a mafia, Gia. I don't wait. Gia scoffed and crossed her arms. Don't act smart. You're waiting for Ryan's call, aren't you? No. Why would I? I'm just thinking about my business, my kingdom. You know I hate birdies. Gia rolled her eyes and sighed dramatically. Yeah, Mr. Mafia King. The cold-hearted one who hates parties. I know, you won't admit it, but it's okay anyway. Advance happiest birthday, Appa. You won't give me a chance to say it at 12, so I'm saying it now. Jungkook looked away but nodded slightly. Jia started walking away but paused at the stairs and smiled to herself. They both love each other so much but act like strangers. Before this engagement happens, I have to do something. These lovebirds are missing too much fun. She happily walked away with her ice cream box. Back in the living room, the time now was 11:59 p.m. Jungkook sat up straight. His heart was racing. His fingers hovered above his phone. Will she call? He whispered to himself. And then, your name flashed on his screen. He smiled like a child but quickly covered his mouth because the house was quiet and everyone was asleep. He cleared his throat and answered the call in his usual cold voice. Hello, he said. On the other side, your hand was shaking slightly. You were standing near your window, biting your lip. You closed your eyes tightly and spoke. Happy birthday, Jungkook. There was a pause. Jungkook's heart melted. He smiled softly, even though his voice stayed calm. Thank you. There was silence for 2 full minutes. You wanted to say more, but you were too nervous. You opened your mouth, but then closed it again. Okay then, good night, you said quickly and ended the call. Jungkook stared at his phone and chuckled quietly. That's it, just a small wish, he whispered, smiling, but inside he was feeling crazy just because you called him first. And you were jumping on your bed silently, hugging your pillow. I did it. I wished him without fear, you whispered to yourself. Next morning, Jungkook was walking around the house when he heard voices and some loud sounds from the garden. He opened the door and saw colorful decorations being put up. Balloon arcs, fairy lights, ribbons, everything looked festive. Gia was standing with a list in her hand, pointing and giving orders to the workers. Put those lights over the entrance and no, not blue, use the gold ones, she shouted. Jungkook walked up with a frown. What's all this? She looked at him with a smile. Surprise, I'm throwing you a birthday party. He crossed his arms. You know, I hate celebrations, Gia. She rolled her eyes. I know, but this year I want to celebrate it. Let me do it as your sister. He sighed. Fine, whatever you want to do. Do it, just don't expect me to smile. He walked away, acting annoyed. But Jia smiled and looked up at the decorations. This is not just for you, Appa, it's for YN too. I want to see her face. When she sees you in a birthday mood, let's see how long you both can keep. She clapped her hands. Okay, everyone, let's hurry. The Mafia King is turning 1 year after today. The workers laughed and the preparations continued. Gia looked at the entrance gate and whispered, tonight, Wine is going to see a different Jungkook, and maybe, just maybe, she will fall even harder. With a grin, she returned to her decorations. Tonight was going to be special for both of you. The night air was cool and fresh. The garden was lit with fairy lights and soft music played in the background. Tables were set beautifully and the guests laughed and chatted. Jungkook stood near the drinks table, dressed in a dark suit. You had gifted him that morning. He looked sharp, confident, and as handsome as ever, but inside his heart was looking for only one thing, you. Jia came beside him, sipping her juice. She leaned in and whispered, waiting for wine. Jungkook flinched slightly. No, I'm just watching the party, he said, trying to sound casual. Jia rolled her eyes and smiled, walking away, and then you entered. You stepped into the garden slowly, wearing the simple yet elegant frock Jungkook had gifted you on your birthday. It was a light pastel color that complemented your skin and figure beautifully. Your hair was open and you tucked a strand behind your ear. Jungkook's heart skipped a beat. His eyes widened slightly, his lips parted. He couldn't take his eyes off of you. You walked toward him slowly, your heart pounding. You smiled a little as you reached him. Happy birthday again, Jungkook, you said, looking into his eyes for a second before lowering your gaze. He smiled softly, thank you. He looked at his suit and then at you. This suit? Did you pick it especially for me? You nodded, yes. I thought it would suit you, and you look very handsome in it. He looked away quickly, feeling shy. Jungkook chuckled lightly. Thank you, Ryan. Just then Jia clapped her hands loudly and called everyone to the center area. Let's play a game, truth or dare. Come on everyone, sit in a circle. You hesitated, but Jia pulled you into the circle. Everyone took turns. There were laughs, jokes, and even some silly dares. Then it was your turn. Jia smiled like a fox. Truth or dare, Ryan? You looked at her and said, dare. You thought she would ask something simple, but Jia had other plans. Okay, I dare you to kiss my brother's lip piercing. The crowd gasped. Your eyes widened in shock. What? Everyone stared. You shook your head. No, I can't. That's too much. Jia smirked. It was Joe's dare. No going back, come on. You looked around nervously. Jungkook was standing a few feet away, talking to a friend, holding a glass of wine. He hadn't heard the dare. You stood up slowly and walked towards him. Your heart was beating so fast you thought it might explode. Jungkook, you called softly. Hey, don't you? Surprised. Yeah, what happened? You looked at his lip piercing, then looked away. Your lips trembled. Nothing, it's okay. I'll go back. You turned to leave, ready to lose the dare. But Jungkook grabbed your wrist gently and pulled you back. Wait. Then he looked around and raised his voice. Uncle, he called out to your father, who was sitting with some relatives. Your father looked up. Yes, Jungkook. Do you mind if I kiss your daughter before our engagement? There was a moment of silence. Your father chuckled. Why would I mind? You two are getting engaged anyway. You have my blessing. Everyone laughed and cheered. You covered your face with your hands in embarrassment. Jungkook looked at you and smiled. I won't let you lose in any situation, Ryan. He gently pulled your hands away from your face, looked into your eyes, and said, "Close your eyes." Your breath caught in your throat. You slowly closed your eyes, and then his lips touched your soft, warm, slow. His lip piercing brushed against your lower lip, and he finally completed the deal. Everyone clapped and cheered louder. Jungkook pulled back slightly and whispered, "I love you, Wine." I was just too scared to say it first. Your eyes opened slightly, filled with tears of happiness. "I love you too, Jungkook, so much, but I was scared of you." He wiped a small tear from your cheek. "Don't be scared of me. I may be a mafia to the world, but to you I just want to be a man who loves you." You nodded with a smile. He held your hand and walked toward the cake. Everyone gathered around. He cut the cake with you standing right beside him. The first bite he fed you, you fed him back, your hands still shaking. "Happy birthday, Jungkook," you said softly. "Best birthday ever," he whispered. Jia stood at the back, smiling brightly. "Finally, my plan worked," she said proudly. That night, under the lights and stars, surrounded by love and laughter, the cold-hearted Mafia King finally found warmth in your arms, and you finally stopped being scared of the man you loved the most. Thank you for watching.